Hello, everyone, and welcome to the It's Hockey Night podcast. My name is Brenton, and I am joined by the Vitaly Abramov to my Matthew Poirot. Mike, how you going, Mike?
Well, there's still a bright future for Vitaly Abramov as he turns 28 in the 27th year of him being a top tier prospect for
He's
the Blue Jackets now,
no.
or
Oh, yeah,
where the
yeah,
hell
yeah.
is he?
No, he was picked by Columbus, and I'm pretty sure he's with Ottawa. Yeah, he's with Ottawa. He was part of the Duchesne deal.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yep.
He's only 22.
Okay. Well, this is
Made his
gonna be the year.
he's made his debut. Made his debut this season.
Made
So
his debut, is right.
yeah, what a highlight reel that was. I put it on Twitter if anyone wants to watch it. Um, there's the skate when he goes out by himself. It's so funny every time that happens. It's so unique, such a unique take. Man, they need to stop that because it's just they do that with everyone now. And then he had a shot on goal at some point. End of highlight reel.
Every year there's a small Russian forward that just like puts up a shit ton of points either in the queue or in Russia, and I like without fail completely overreact to it and just like put him on a list somewhere like I'm gonna get this kid and no one else is gonna know about him, and I'm gonna have him on all my fantasy hockey rosters, and it'll be great. Somebody will give me a first round pick for him one day, and it's yet to happen.
Do you know what really took me off doing that? Plotkinov. Because
Well,
man, did
you
I
know,
buy it.
well, he's
Plus,
gonna look so great on Gino's wing. Why? Because he's Russian? Yeah, exactly. That was
yeah,
fucking stupid.
I know. We're so
But I
dumb.
was for sure one of those people too.
Oh, I bought in big time. Speaking of KHL, just because I was getting a lot of the scoring stats in the KHL this week, because a lot of the news this week was like certain players being Kirill. Oh man, I hate it when I get the last names and then I immediately forget them, so I just butcher them. Like
Well,
Sorokin got hired, Kaprizov is coming as well, who looks pretty good. But
yeah,
and then I
coming
got to
off for
see.
the.
Yeah, and then I got to see where they were in scoring, and there was a player that was fourth overall in scoring and second overall in scoring. And I was like, oh boy, we should not take this seriously. Dmitry Yaskin of the Blues, who I think I want to say he got like 2 goals for the Blues, and
That's
Linus
real bad.
Omark is fourth overall in scoring in the K.
Yeah. Yeah, look, as much as the KHL wants to be the second best professional league in the world, I think that still belongs to the AHL. Um,
Oh, that's an interesting.
yeah, man,
Wow.
there's a lot of guys that are like good enough to be, in the NHL, and if you're good enough to be in the NHL, there's just like more of them in the AHL, I think, than there are in the KHL. A lot of those guys, I mean, again, different ice surface, different game, but
Mm.
yeah, the KHL is just it's weird. It's a weird league in a weird country,
Oh
and
yeah.
I truly think that yeah, it's just not. It's not a great um, indicator for like how good a player is. You know what I
No,
mean?
it's they come here and we cross our fingers and hope for the best. Although I do think Sorokin is the real deal. Looking at him, you look at who could be a free agent at the end of the year, and Grice is definitely a free agent at the end of the year. Like there's no ifs ands or buts about it. Like Sorokin and who's their other goalie, Valamov. Yeah,
Yeah,
they'll go into next year, but yeah, that was weird. Like cap friendly. Did you see the Sorokin signing?
yeah. Oh yeah, I saw all the Russian kids signed.
But so Sorokin signed, right? To for this year to go to training camp, and then the next day he extended it by one more year, and Cap Friendly like had two Ilya Sorokin contracts, and they tweeted out like, "I don't think we've ever seen this before." Like just back to back a player, just like What is going on?
It's you got the Make-A-Wish deal and an actual
And then
contract.
yeah, pretty much yeah, the
Yeah.
Make-A-Wish. That's a pretty good combo for that. Um, so a little bit of news today. Not a huge amount, but enough. I did want to start, and I remembered before the podcast started, ladies and gentlemen, I couldn't remember what I wanted to start off with. Um, but I have remembered, and we'll preview the Western games for the play-in round as well. But Mike, or should I call you Vitali?
Uh,
Um,
Duh.
what do you think about this whole the way the league's handling injuries, where it's just not fit for play, undisclosed, not fit to play, upper respiratory injury?
Oh gosh, I think they're trying to make the best of a bad situation,
Oh.
but it's just going to be so incredibly frustrating and real dumb and lead to so many bad Steve Simmons speculation articles
Oh yeah,
coming from like every hot take artist in every city. So I'm not a fan, but like I don't know what the hell else they could have done, but
yeah,
it's already incredibly frustrating.
yeah. See,
Like,
that's the
and we're not
thing.
even in the bubble yet.
No, I like that's the thing. Like, there was just no way around. Do it like you think it's dumb, and then you're like, but what else can they do? But yeah, oh man, it's so like Crosby wasn't on ice today, and everyone was just like, does he have COVID?
Right.
And that's just going to be the constant. I think we just consider that to be the constant until told otherwise. But yeah, yeah, and it's going to be so obvious too because they're just going to be like, yeah, because eventually they're going to get asked what's their timeline to come back, and they're going to say 2 weeks, and we're going to be like, oh boy, what's 2 weeks, Mike?
Right. Yep.
Like that's the thing because they're going to have to start giving some sort of timeline on these players. Or do you
Well,
think
you'd
they won't
think
even
for
do
like
that?
gambling, but no, I really don't think they're gonna give. They're like, especially because in the end, like it's gonna come down to a Zoom call with a coach, and you're giving them the option to like not have to say
Mm,
anything to the media. They're gonna take it every time, and they're just gonna continue to like hold ground on this unfit to play. We can't be per the league's rules. Like we already heard it from Mike Sullivan about Crosby today. With per the league's rules, blah 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 blah. Unfit to play is all we can say, and like they're just gonna keep hammering that away,
yeah.
despite everyone that's gambling on these games being real mad about that.
Yeah, maybe just don't gamble on it.
Yeah,
Like,
especially now. Like, I don't know how you could confidently gamble on any of this shit.
well, hockey is a real hard one to gamble on anyway.
Right. Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
it is very difficult, and especially now. Like, I know I harbour back to the AFL way too much, the Aussie rules here, but like, it's the only sporting league that has like a good, month now of play in front of it, um, or behind it, I should say. And like that first week was brutal. Like it was so terrible. The play, the mistakes that were being made compared to now. So like, and by the time that team's got it together, that's the play-in round gone. Like there's definitely going to be some upsets this year of just teams that don't get it together straight away.
Yeah. Yeah, and like that's it. It's like who's got the worst shaky legs out of everybody. It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be real ugly.
Yeah.
Though I don't know. It might not be as bad. It seems like every team has been doing like scrimmages instead of
Mm,
practice. Like every team is like scrimmaging now, leading up to preseason game. I was gonna say games, but everyone gets one.
game. Yep.
Everybody gets one next week.
Pens against the
Penguins,
Flyers.
yeah. Which is probably like, look, we always shit on the NHL and rightfully so, but credit where credit's due.
Yeah.
This was a great idea. Like if you're gonna get um, casual fans of the game into this weird playoff format right away, you're just gonna throw 12 rivalries,
Rivalry game. Yeah. It's just all
and like
rival
really
games.
intense rivalry games like right at the gate.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it will be yeah, I'm with you. I think it'll be pretty good. Plus it's on before I start work, so I'm gonna live stream watch it, the first game, and then we'll sort of go by my schedule after that. So that should be I'm actually quite excited for that. But you've caught the scrimmage games, or the scrimmage game from yesterday, is that right?
Yes, yeah, it was on at 10:30ish or whatever. Well, it's supposed
Yeah.
to start at 10:45, and in true hockey fashion, didn't end up starting until
I,
like 11:05 or whatever.
I literally put my phone on charge as I was in bed. And then it goes scrimmage game starting now, and I was like, oh no, that's
No,
not happening.
not worth
I'm
it.
going to bed.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I started watching it like from bed, and I
Uh,
was like, how much do I really miss hockey? And the answer was a lot because I watched an entire scrimmage game on my
the
laptop.
wow. What did you think? Any takeaways?
Well, the real takeaways from camp, I just really think that, well, here's my thing. I think this more so than other scrimmages you see in July or in training camp regularly probably means a little more since we're technically halfway through a season,
Yes.
and these guys are gonna like they're coming in like as cold as they've ever been, and gonna play this like intense, grueling tournament over the next 2 or 3 months. So I think there is a bit of emphasis on it, especially in the Penguins' case for the bottom six. I think we kind of know what the top two lines are going to be. And some, one of those positive things like Zucker and Malkin, who was I think Malkin was one of the best forwards during yesterday's little scrimmage. Him and Zucker look good together, so that's
That's
cool.
that's really good.
Yeah, Jake Gensel doesn't look like he missed a step at all. He was real good out there, even after Sid left the game, which is concerning. But I don't think he got coronavirus in the middle of a game.
Yeah, well, you
I,
never know.
my it's probably he probably tweaked. I mean, he did have a pulled groin earlier in the year, and he
So
probably
probably
tweaked
just
something, and they're going to be safe. They're going to be extra safe this
yeah,
time of year, especially
especially
with a
in a
guy like him.
scrimmage game.
They don't have to worry about his conditioning. Like that dude is fine.
Yeah, the watermelons out front of the arena
Yeah, he's out there
boy
crushing watermelons with his thighs and
with his
shit.
thighs. Yeah,
He's all right. He'll be fine.
he's
So they're just being safe, I
yeah, and
think.
yeah, and that makes sense. I mean, obviously, hopefully we'll find out a little bit more. And he's ready to go for the 28th. I mean, that will be the telltale sign, right? If the 28th he's not playing. But yeah, so they're all moving around pretty well, fine, and
Yeah, I mean, Sam Lafferty looked really good, but I just like kind of had flashbacks to December of last year when he came up for the first time, and he also looked really good, and then by
mm,
February was completely invisible. So, yeah, like I know these guys know that they're competing for one, maybe two spots, depending on what happens with Patrick Hornquist's coronavirus.
yes,
Uh, oh, I'm sorry, did I say that? No, he's unfit to play. I'm so sorry.
his
Um,
undisclosed upper respiratory
Correct. Correct.
disease.
Yeah. But the thing that people have and are going to make the biggest deal about this entire camp is the goaltending battle.
Hmm.
And Matthew Murray did not make the best case to be the starter come August 1st yesterday. Look, and again, it's scrimmage, it's dumb. He was facing Crosby and Malkin,
Yeah, which is ridiculous.
scored the first two goals, and then were responsible for the majority of them that Sam Lafferty wasn't. So, like, okay, it's definitely not fair. However, like he didn't look great.
Didn't.
So, like, hopefully he snaps out of that. I think it's less that like he didn't look great, which like he on the last three goals he didn't, but he was already getting shelled by then.
Mm,
Uh, Tristan Jarry just looked like really kind of in the zone. He made a lot of great saves, and he was just kind of in really good position, just really calm all day. So it was kind of like a contrast thing. It was a contrast and comparing kind of situation. And again, it was a scrimmage game. For the first time, these guys have played hockey in like 4 months.
for
So
yeah,
but
organized
like
proper hockey.
let's not read too much into it. But it's interesting, and I think it's noteworthy.
Let's read into it. I say put Jari in because he's the greatest. I mean, this goalie battle could really be who the Penguins go with as their goalie going forward. Like it is.
Yeah, like not even so much for these playoffs. I'm just more intrigued as to like, is Tristan Jari real? And
Real.
is this going to be a thing where Rutherford trades Murray in the offseason? If so, like what is his value, and like how secure are they with Tristan Jari and case dismissed in net? I don't know.
Yeah. No. Yeah, makes sense. Um, yeah. Any other final thoughts on that? Anything you wanted to get on? Get on up. No.
Jack Johnson blocked a lot of shots in a
Oh,
scrimmage.
what a
In a fucking
shocker.
scrimmage. Dude
Yeah.
was
Well,
laying all over the ice, just
the only
kneeling,
it's the
blocking
only.
shots like a madman. I will tell you though, Brenton, let me tell you, he looked quick out there. Boy,
No, we
oh
did.
boy, is he hitting the gym. Brenton, would you believe that Jack Johnson is in the best shape of his life? The best shape
Ugh.
of his life.
No.
I'm just doing it preemptively, so like we're not caught off guard when like
Poor.
everyone else says it.
He is like a very poor man's copy of Girardi, and it's just not going well.
Yeah, I have many concerns about him and Schultz paired together. Though Schultz looked pretty good yesterday. Like, look, if he can be just marginally better than he was this year,
Yeah. Well,
I think
that's
they'll
a
be fine because they're
that's
gonna
a big
play like
plus.
8 minutes a night at even strength, if that. So
Yeah. If he can move the puck, that's handy. Like that is a handy player that low in the on defense. But it's just whether he'll be able to or not. Um, so a lot of the player award and coach award nominees came out this week. What I mean, some of them are just a bit bleh, whatever.
second year
Uh,
in a row with no Penguins in the nominees.
oh wow, you're right. Where do you think they got most snubbed?
Coaching for sure. I
Coaching,
think
yeah.
Sullivan deserved to be in there. I mean, he played most of this year without Sid and without a lot of key contributors on the team, and still managed to be like the seventh best team in the league
Who do you
offensively.
who do you take out if you could? Because I looked into this and I couldn't take any of them out.
Yeah, I know. Like Tortorella is similar story, and then with Bruce Cassidy, like I get the argument for like coaching a really good team, but sometimes a good team is just a really good team, and then they also get boosted by a really good goaltending.
Goaltending, yeah. They also
So,
the
you
one thing
know,
I
I
would
don't.
say with that is they've improved on last year, like dramatic, like in a
Yeah,
fair few numbers they improved on last year. So yeah, goaltending helps, but like even offensively they improved again. So they went
who was
from
the third coach? I forget. Was it
Alain
Bedard?
Vigneault,
Oh, Vigneault.
who I thought it was just their goaltending. For some reason, I just thought, oh well, they got a save compared to last year, but no, their offensive numbers went right up the Flyers as well.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, they were like a team. They were garbage in the first half, and then
Mm,
you
got it
know,
together. Yeah,
yeah,
it was
and they were
almost a goal
probably
a
the
game
best team
difference.
during the stretch. So, which is they're a real interesting team for me. Like we'll get there when we get to the round robin games, but yeah, that's weird. Yeah, I don't know.
I get it
I
with
feel like
Sullivan though.
Sullivan
Like
is on par with a lot of these dudes, and I don't know.
it just seemed to me that like I don't like that we're stuck on we can only nominate three. There's only three nominees and we go from there. Like sometimes it's quite close and I think you could have got away with five to be honest. And no one would have bat an eye. But
Right. Yeah. I mean, like it's like the Hall of Fame. Like some years, they're more
stronger than
people
others.
deserve to be in consideration.
Yeah.
But this is one of those awards that the broadcasters vote for, and as we well know, broadcasters are usually real dumb. So
But I
there
will
you
give
go.
him credit. Like I did find it hard on because my original thing was like Cassidy could be taken out, and then I looked at the season they had, and I was like, no, you know what? We don't reward teams too often in the coach award for doing very well, and they improved on last year. And then I thought Alain Vigneault was just getting saves, but he improved at everything. And John Tortorella is the coach that didn't have a good team but made it into the playoffs. Like that award. Uh, what did you think of the Ted Lindsay? Who do you think gets it?
Who was up for that?
Draisaitl, McKinnon, and Panarin.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, like, I think it just like the MVP, league MVP, it probably should be Panarin. I mean, that dude was just an absolute house on fire. If not, like, and again, we hate goaltenders for this award because it probably should be Connor
But
Hellebuyck
goaltenders have
too.
their own award.
Right? Yeah, just like
Mike,
defensemen.
goaltenders have their own award.
Everybody gets one.
Yeah, it's
Right,
so
Spider
dumb,
Man. Yeah,
that
it's real
argument.
dumb.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Draisaitl will win this, actually.
Yeah, you're probably not wrong. Well, I don't
I
know. This is voted on by the players, so.
Oh, all right. The only reason
Ooh.
I think what Draisaitl did this year when the Oilers have not dealt well with adversity in the last 4 years. We can safely, probably longer than that. Like something goes wrong and their season's just done. That's it.
Well, I mean, is it like they haven't dealt well with the adversity of their front office
Yeah, well,
for a
that's
decade?
but you know what I mean. Like they get an injury or they lose a game, like a come from behind game in November, and then the next month they're just terrible. Like it's just they can't between the years. I mean, it doesn't help that they're their management's just a basket case.
Yeah.
But
Well, and
and
especially with one of those injuries, if it's the Connor McDavid's collarbone or something, then all of
well,
a
that's
sudden
what.
they're trash. Everybody's like, "Oh my god, how did that happen?"
Well, when McDavid was out, Draisaitl stood up, man. Like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
yeah.
he really kept it going. That's why I think. And there was a few comments on that video that I had that was like, "Oh, McDavid should be getting the award" and stuff like that. And I was like, "Yeah, but this is probably the one time that Draisaitl will ever get this award if McDavid's healthy." Like,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he pulled a real Evgeny Malkin and just like put the team
mm,
on his back.
yeah, for a good month, and the rest of the time he was completely solid. Yeah, I don't have.
But yeah, I mean, again, there's another one like Evgeny Malkin could probably be consideration for this too because he did the exact same thing while sitting
Yeah,
us out. Statistically, like the second highest points, even strength points per game for the year. So, like, I don't know.
but we already nominated one Russian in Aaron.
Right, we can't. It's too much.
Yeah. What?
Again, like expand the field some years.
Yeah, I
But
couldn't.
also, as we say every year around uh, the middle of June when this usually takes place, who cares?
Who
Like
cares?
these awards are awful.
They are pretty bad. The other one is because I won't. I mean, Masterton's just like Oscar Lindblom. I'm pretty sure has that
Has
in the
anyone
bag.
driven their truck through a Tim Hortons this year?
Well, that's why I wanted to bring up the Lady Big because we've got Good Boy McKinnon, who I actually, if you go through the Lady Bing award, it really is. In the last 40 years, it's a who of who was nominated for the Ted Lindsay and as a center. But Gretzky's playing like it really is. It
Yeah.
goes to that player so often, and I think so. McKinnon's one of them. And that's who I think is going to win it. And optically, you would hope wins it because next up is Austin Matthews, who, well, assaulted someone in the off season just gone by. Let's not maybe give an award quite yet. And then Ryan O'Reilly, who, for two or three straight years has not drunkenly crashed into a Tim Hortons. So
Ryan O'Reilly is seemingly always up for this or the Lady
award,
Bing. It's like one of the two.
yeah,
Uh,
I think McKinnon.
yeah, yeah.
You just find a way to give it to him, right? Because I think the point difference between him and the next best player in his team is like 40. like,
It's real ridiculous. Yeah,
yeah. So, oh boy. So
especially
yeah,
Brandon.
that's all the awards. The goalie one is just I mean, it's Rask Hallebuck and who's the third one? Rask Hallebuck and oh
It doesn't
god,
matter. It should be hell. It's going to be Hellebuck. If it's not Hellebuck, everyone should riot.
really? They had all of them had such good seasons. I could see it going anywhere.
Dude, Hellebuck bailed that team out so bad. I can't even tell you to like Neil
Yeah.
Pionk was playing top 6 minutes for them. Like, no,
Yeah, that's
no,
true.
it's Hellebuck in a landslide. That dude put up unreal save percentage, goal
Unreal.
save above
Yeah.
average. Like, just he
With the
should
worst.
not have made the saves that he did on that team. They got so many good chances against him this year. They were just caved in defensively, and he was an actual brick wall.
Well, I mean, you mentioned it. Should we just dive straight into the preview since that you obviously got
Let's, yeah,
some comments on the old Jetaroonies. Flames Jets
C plus transition, by the way.
C plus. Hey, I'll accept it. It's better than my score in year 12. uh, um, yeah, the one thing I want to talk about before we sort of jump in is how weird is this Goodrow conversation? And this is the whole dumb injury thing, right? Have you heard any of
It's
that stuff?
it's real weird.
Yeah, it just because he was on another line and he was on like so the way that the Flames broken up with one group was a group of 18, the other one was like a group of 9, and the group of 9 trained in the afternoon, and the group of 18 trained in the morning. And Goodrow was in the group of 9 with like Lucic and a few other slower players. And so everyone questioned his conditioning for a fair few days, to the point where the GM came out and said no, he's super fit. He bought some bike in when the lockdown was happening, which I love. He's like, no, he bought a bike. It's fine.
Yeah, no, he's actually in great condition. He bought a bike, obviously. Guy, come on.
Yeah, he looks
Look, I've
great.
been riding a bike a lot, but I don't. I'm unfit to play, so I don't know exactly what that means.
I think that's
Yeah, like this is again where that because anything that happens out of the ordinary, and they can't talk about it
mm,
because it's just unfit to play, and it's like what this is a whole other side of the spectrum to the coronavirus issue, and it's just like if there's something else going on with the player, maybe this is no big deal. Maybe he has, he's just like tweaked something or whatever, but like they can't tell you. So this looks optically real bad. The guy that's been in trade rumors for the last 3 years, the
3 years.
leading
Yep.
scorer on the team, all of a sudden, who had a bad season, is now skating basically with the Black Aces. Like,
When you're just like, oh, this is not what we wanted.
probably not the story you wanted, you know, going into, a playoff series where you probably have the toughest, one of the toughest matchups in this whole thing.
If their goaltending's up to snuff, yeah, I think that's the other thing. Yeah, like who do you think? Just who do you think wins it, and then we can go on to the who, when, what, why.
Uh,
They played. Do you know what was my favorite thing about the preview? Because I read all the previews that like the NHL teams wrote, and then a few individual ones. The Flames preview had their head-to-head games this year. Guess how many games they played each other? Once
what?
in October.
Oh wow.
So yeah, maybe don't include that like head-to-head in a playing round. I don't think that game of the 27th of October really means anything.
Yeah, probably not good. No. Yeah, yeah. So this is going to be a truly like unfamiliar matchup.
Yeah, I think it will be a bit funky, this one.
Uh,
And go to the wire. Um,
I still, if I'm laying down a bet here, I think Calgary's got too many distractions. I don't trust their goaltending. Like their defense is great, and it's like the opposite of Winnipeg's inverse defense. But
hmm,
I think Winnipeg's offense is good enough to make up for it. And if Hellebuck, like we can't assume that Hellebuck's gonna just fall apart all of a sudden. So I think like fairly, you just have to assume he's gonna play the same way. So I give. I'm I'm gonna call Minnesota or Winnipeg in this
I'm
one.
gonna call Minnesota. Who's gonna
I'm gonna
come in?
go.
Their theme music's gonna play,
Minnesota's
and
gonna come out of the
Minnesota's gonna win
tunnel.
it.
Their theme music's gonna play. They're gonna jump in the ring at the last minute, like SummerSlam, and win this. They're gonna beat both teams, all
Yeah.
through the power of Kirill Kaprizov.
The one thing I would say in the goaltending thing, and that's the thing is, there's always going to be this asterisk of like, well, which goalie shows up. But I have a lot more faith in Hallebuck showing up than I do in Riddich and Talbot, like who did not. I mean, Talbot had a decentish year for some reason, as a backup role, but and obviously that's probably a bit more suited work schedule for him now. But yeah, Riddick was not a good goalie. They struggled to score at times, like those big patches where they struggled to score. And I just think Jets. They lived off the goalie, but you know, if you can get a save, that does lead a bit more confidence down the other side of the ice that you can be a bit more aggressive, right? So I just feel like the Jets are going to probably walk away with this one.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I mean, in a year where the average save percentage is what, like 909 or something?
909, yeah,
Yeah, Hellebuck put up a 922, so
yeah, which is pretty unbelievable.
in 58 games. Like they were just gonna ride this dude until the wheels fell off. So like the break helped him probably more than anyone.
Oh yeah, big time. Like there's no way around it. They aren't favorites, by the way. Yeah, they aren't. Yeah, I was just looking at the betting app because I'll put this as a multi, and then if it wins, I don't know, I can hire an editor for a video or something like that. But yeah, like there was yeah, so they're not favorites, but I'm a bit surprised by that.
Yeah, dude. I mean, they got Lucas Pizza on their fucking decor, so I
Oh,
understand. And Dmitry Kulikov, like these guys are real bad. Like
yeah,
I get it. You know, like I like Josh Morrissey. He's not a number one, but he's playing like one right now
I
because
really like
that's
Morrissey. I I,
all they
I think
got.
he's one of the a very underrated player in the league. Who's
For
also
sure, for
very
sure. But
exciting.
I mean, for a guy that's power backing that power play, he should have, he should have been putting up way more points than he did. So,
Yeah, yeah. I don't think their power play. Yeah, their power play numbers are just a bit flat this year. Yeah, just take a look at it now. It's a bit. Bleh, bleh. That's
yeah, I
all.
mean, surprisingly, I mean, obviously Shifley's leading the pack with 10 power play points, but like,
Yeah, it's not
it's not great.
super amazing. Like nothing's leaping out at me as just like. Um. Wait, what do you mean he's leading the pack? Blake Wheeler got 22
Oh,
power
I'm
play
sorry. Yeah,
points.
Blake Wheeler. I missed that.
Oh wait, no. Neil Pionk got 25 power play points.
Well,
Wow.
fuck me then. I guess he ended up quarterbacking. See, this is how much everyone pays attention to Winnipeg, I guess.
Yeah, so I guess he must have been the one that was up there in the power play. Well, they don't have lattes there. Did you not know that?
Well, it's the internet, Brenton. That's the real problem.
It really is. So any final thoughts on that series?
Yeah, look, I'm still Winnipeg fans. I'm still giving it to you guys. I think they're still going to come away with it.
You reckon they're going? Or
Yeah, yeah. I'm going to say Winnipeg in five.
oh, Winnipeg in five. You know what? I think Winnipeg in three.
Clean sweep, huh?
I'm thinking so. I don't trust the Flames, and I feel like if there's a clean sweep on the board, um, there's a clean sweep. Sorry, I just saw something that made me laugh. You know how everyone has these rivalry games that
Yeah.
they're playing to start off with.
Yeah.
Who was the? Oh no, I just lost it. I saw Arizona's and I just giggled. 'Cause I was
Oh
like, oh
yeah,
yeah,
that's just
I didn't
they
think that
just
don't
it's
have a
the two
run.
teams that like they're just like is it Minnesota? Because I feel like that's the other
Yeah,
team.
that's
Like,
it.
do they have a rival in 2020? Like,
It
this is
just
not the North Stars.
it just reminded me of do you know when NBC used to have like Wednesday rivalry night and be like the Sabres first like I don't know.
Sharks,
Yeah.
Sabres, Sharks, Wednesday night rivalry.
Wednesday night rivalry night. Lost in a head-to-head a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Oh god, it's so stupid, this league. Shall we pivot to the Oilers and the Blackhawks?
Let's pivot away. Let's Neil Pionk pivot. Yep, that's all I got.
Yeah, well, so probably the biggest worry for the old Black Hawkeroonies is that Crawford is out with concussion issues, apparently.
Crawford has been unfit to play for like 2 years in
Yeah.
one way or another.
He always comes back in that season, but like it's pretty unreal. Um, they don't have Leno anymore. Yeah, like this team is not gonna do very well in my opinion.
Yeah, and like normally, my theory is to always bet against Minnesota, uh, because well, fair, but
What do you mean
uh,
Minnesota? Stop saying Minnesota.
I did, didn't I? I did
Yeah,
again. I did again. I
man, you
did it
got
again.
Minnesota
I
on the
got Minnesota on the
what?
brain,
Oh, did you
and
hear
I'm
what
like,
I said then? Instead of on the mind, I said you got Minnesota on the wild. This podcast is going to
that's
shit.
we're gonna change the name of this podcast to Wild and Out with Mike and Brett. It's now a Minnesota Wild podcast. I'm sorry.
Oh,
That's all we could. That's what we have to do now. It's a legal thing. Yeah, no, the Edmonton Oilers. The safe bet is to always bet against Edmonton. Uh,
yes.
but yeah, no, I think you're right. I think a lot of broadcasters and like people are going to be betting uh, that the Hawks are going to take this one and make
Mm,
it easy because of hashtag playoff experience and winning and shit.
yeah,
But
but
yeah, no, the Oilers they're an actual team now. They might not be where they want to be or where they could be, but like they're no McDavid and Draisaitl, like they're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna lose this one.
I think Edmonton definitely has a weak place. Like you look at a lot of their scoring this year, and surprise, surprise, two names pop up continuously, and everyone else just seems to be a bum along for the ride. So in playoffs, like if you can shut down those two players, I feel like that there's a pretty easy series for you. Easier said than done. But this Blackhawks team does not have the ability to shut down that team.
No, like sure, like it's great that Duncan Keith got 3.5 months off or 4 months off to like rest and rehab his old bones, but
Yeah.
he's still gonna be old as shit when we get back out there. He's still gonna be Duncan Keith of 2020 when we come back out here. And like normally I'd agree with you with the if you can shut down, but like it's gonna be so much harder now because like I said that like you would hope anyway, with Taylor Yamamoto's kind of ascendancy here, they've been able to separate Draisaitl and McDavid. Like they're on two lines now, and that's
Yeah.
that's just not. It's not that easy to stop. Like yeah, the third and fourth line are like, oof,
But
it's
even
it's
even
an
so,
assortment
it's
of like guys. You're like, oh shit, he's still playing, but yeah, or like who, like
Who?
Sam Gagne and shit. But
Yeah.
nonetheless, Draisaitl and McDavid have over 200 points together, so in less than a full season. So like, let's not go too crazy here. Like if those two are on separate lines, I think they can kind of clean up pretty nicely
I'll,
here.
I'll give you. This is pretty crazy. I don't know if you have it in front of you. So Draisaitl has 110 points. McDavid has 97 points. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins has 61 points. Who do you think has the next highest points?
Oh, I
And
mean the guy that gets to ride shotgun with McDavid, or did before he got injured, and then
mm,
I think actually still played with Draisaitl because he's their best, or what they thought at the time was their best top line right winger in Zach Cassian.
with 34 points,
Yeah, in 59
their
games, which is nothing
best.
to sneeze at for sure, but it's literally just like there's like he would not be doing this on any other line
No,
with any other player. Like
no.
I don't think Zach Cassian's bad. I don't. He's not this good though. He's not.
I
He's
would.
he's he's maybe a 35-point guy in an 82 game season.
Yeah, and I don't think any of that 34 points is generating any points for Connor McDavid. It's definitely the other way around. Like,
Yeah, yeah. No, it's like he doesn't have a ton of assists here. You know what I mean? This is
no. Yeah, I just can't imagine that this is going to go any other way. But just yeah, the Blackhawks crossing their fingers for Lafreniere.
oh, I hope not.
Hey, we're getting him. It's the most
That's
penguin thing
right.
in the world. So who have you got?
I'm taking Oilers in four. In four.
So if you go by the odds, there's only one game that has higher favorites than the Oilers currently. So Oilers are at $1.60. The Pittsburgh Penguins are the absolute favorites.
Oh, buddy, not what could go wrong.
Yeah, that's not
Remember
good.
2013 when the Penguins were the odds-on favorite to win the cup?
Yep.
They got Jerome McGinley, Brent, and they
Got Jerome McGinley,
Jerome
Joe Morrow, and the
Hall of
fridge.
Fame left winger Jerome McGinley.
Left wing.
Fucking unreal.
Oh no. Yeah, that was that. Yeah, I just remember. I remember I got excited for Morrow joining the team, and after that first game, I was like, I am not excited for this. My
Yeah, I was like,
excitement.
oh man, this is like an underrated addition. Yeah, no, he sucked. He
No,
sucked as well.
he was rated, just not
He was
well.
definitely properly rated as
Yeah.
a guy that was way past his prime. Which I thought like, okay, cool. Well, they're gonna put him on the third line. He was still bad even there.
Let's move to what I think is probably the series of the West. Do you know where I'm going here?
Obviously, you're talking about the Minnesota Wild
Yes, I actually am.
versus themselves.
Versus the Vancouver Canucks. Yeah, I think this is going to be a fun series.
Yeah, yeah.
Which
Okay,
I don't.
now I get to say that normally I would disagree and say that like, boy, this should be an easy cleanup for Vancouver, but I
Oh
don't think
boy,
so anymore.
that's a big call. Vancouver's a young team. Like they're not that good.
Well, I mean, they did have like the best offensive defenseman, or like the best rookie offensive defenseman in like the last 20 years on their team or whatever.
Hmm.
And they have, a guy that's elite in their top six. I think with JT, good Pittsburgh kid, JT Miller.
Yeah, he
I think
on,
he
on
was a hell of an addition for that team.
Oh yeah, point. Well, anyone that you you add that's point a game.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you very
again,
much.
he's not that good, but he can push other guys down or up, and
Hmm.
it kind of just helped stabilize a team that was really kind of lacking some pieces after the Sedins retired. So
Yeah, no, big time. And again, if you can sort of get the best out of some other players around and be point in game, then yep. I don't think anyone's going to complain in your fan base. This team probably has a bit of pressure because they're in cap hell. They're in absolute cap just purgatory.
yeah, well, when you have free agent guys like Jay Beagle on the market, you just have to
They
sign
have
them
some.
to multi-year
Well,
$4 million deals.
that hurt them big time. I think they've got it's Beagle, Roussel, Ericsson. I'm doing a video for it, and that should be out tomorrow about the cap, and it's pretty in depth. And like I'm trying to see if there's a more higher paid bottom six forward pairings in the league, and I can't see it because it is so much money. Like it is so much money down there, and Sotter's down there at 4 mil. Like there's some terrible contracts on this team, man. But yeah, I have a feeling that if Minnesota Wild win, the games will be 2-1, and if Vancouver win, then it's probably going to be a bit exciting.
I don't know. I don't know anymore. I think the Wild changed a lot of their identity this year when they added Kevin Fiala. Or well, when I say that, I should say when they fired their coach and Kevin Fiala all of a sudden turned into a point per game player. over a point per game player, depending on what month you're talking about.
But
Um,
who else is
Jordan,
scoring? Like
I
their
think
top
there's
scorer had
other
54
guys
points. Like, and then everyone else is just a smattering of 40s and 30s and 20s.
in 64 games. Like I think it's in that context is important. And again, like
Yeah.
everybody was better when the coach got fired. I
Oh,
know Zuccarello's been a disappointment, but he also turned it on after they axed Boudreaux. So like there is some hope. Plus, like Kirill Kaprizov is by all accounts like the real deal, and probably the guy out of all these signings that's the most ready to step into the NHL and make a serious contribution. Like we're not talking about like a guy like a rookie just finding his legs.
mm,
Like he's already 22, 24, and like they've been waiting on this kid for just what seems like to them, I'm sure, eons. So
I,
I think that they're going to play a little more offensively minded. I don't think they're as scared of their offense anymore.
I disagree. I really think if they're winning, that they're going to try. It's going to be boring wild hockey. Coming back to, I could be wrong. I think this series lives and dies with Matt Dumba as well.
Well, yeah,
If he doesn't get it together, because there was a lot of tout with him going into the season. I remember like he was being interviewed by like he was part of that. At the start of the season when all the superstars kind of get together before training camps and stuff like that, and they have that media day. Like he was there for that, and man, just wet fart this year. Just
yeah.
did not.
Well, I mean, I think the series is going to depend on what kind of goaltending they get.
Yeah, yeah.
Both Dubnik and Stalock weren't exactly anything to write home about this year.
Nope. No, and Markstrom was handy this year. Plus, he's quite big. He's quite tall, so he can at
Yeah,
least just be in the way.
but
I
that's you're depending on I'm gonna know as Penguin fans we shouldn't be able to say this, but depending on a rookie goaltender is not the greatest idea all the time.
no. So who do you think walks away? Victor's.
Uh, I'm still saying Vancouver, but I think it's Vancouver in five.
I think it's Vancouver 3-1, game fours in overtime. I think it's a close series, but all the way. All the way, I think this is a
Yeah, I
close
think it's going to be a
series.
lot closer than a lot of people think. I think Minnesota was one of the better teams down the stretch.
Yep.
We'll kind of
Yeah.
underestimate that just because it is Minnesota, and rightfully so, because that's their
They're
legacy.
boring. And plus, like, it doesn't hurt that Suter and Parise got time off. It does not hurt those players.
No, yeah, those guys, and again, like as old as they are, they were also like number what 2 and 5 in points for
Yeah,
them. So
yeah, like
they're still quality players,
and at
especially Suter.
and at the last bit of the year, they were really getting it together again. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think they were ramping up towards something. So yeah. The next series isn't anywhere near as interesting. Predators, Coyotes.
Yeah, you're probably right, but
Well,
I don't
both
know.
teams did not play well this year. Like both teams
No,
were terrible.
I
The
don't
fact
think
that they're in
either
this
of these
tournament
teams.
is terrible.
Yeah, I don't think either of these teams necessarily. These are like two. You'd be like, do they deserve to be here? Probably not.
Not with the seasons that they were having.
No.
Um, yeah, man. Like it's just there's. I mean, you'd probably give this to the Predators, maybe, but if there's a team that is in the same boat that they could not score all year, it's the Predators.
Yeah. See, I don't know, man. I'm gonna take. And again, like Arizona did that thing where they were like really hot down the stretch when they kind of thought they were out of it,
Yeah.
But also, I guess Phil was injured for half the year, which is kind of might explain away why his season was really bad.
Mm.
When you add Taylor Hall, is this finally the year? Is this finally like Taylor Hall can actually get into the playoffs and win around rather than just getting a team a first overall draft pick? I don't know. I think they're a lot closer to a team than than Nashville is, man. I don't know what Nashville is. I really don't. You know, their leading scorer is Roman Yossi, and he is probably the most overrated defenseman in the league. Like his offense is
Yeah.
incredible. Like the kid's good. He's not a kid anymore, but you know he's an extremely talented defenseman. But you know, I don't know. I feel like you brought Matt Duchene in to score 13 goals. Ugh, Philip
Yeah, like
Forsberg, like he wasn't great this year, you know, and then your team's just a bunch of middle six guys. I mean, Victor Arvidsson, like, 2 bad years in a row. Like, they're
this is a
counting on
team
a
here.
lot of people to just have magical turnarounds. I think that then I think Arizona has a lot more plausible reason to think that their offense is probably going to outmatch Nashville because I think I think we can agree that the rest of the team is pretty even. Like
Yeah,
Nashville's defense is
they
it is so far from the fucking powerhouse that it used to be. Like
yeah.
it's just a skeleton crew these days, and like they've got like just guys on their bottom pair now, and like I actually like Jacob Chikrin and guys on Arizona's D because like they have some young pieces there. You know, I mean Demers is what he is, but I don't know. I just think if you're just holding up their defense and goaltending next to each other, and it's like it's the Spider-Man
Well,
pointing meme because it's well, I mean, other than like I actually think Arizona's goaltending's better.
it is. Like that's the thing. Like it's been healthy for
Right.
once. This, I mean, Rancer is a good goalie. He's just always been injured, and Kemper has had a good year. Like they both done
Right.
well.
They're not
Um,
names. They're not like household names or anything like
I think
Pecorine is, but
if Rancer was healthy for the last 3 years, he may be because he always came in, did well, and then just got hurt
well,
immediately.
that's the question. If
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. But man, like Rene did not have a good year. I don't trust Saros in front of the net. When the games really mean something. I think that might be the difference, but the one caveat here is that both teams have really struggled to score, so it might be who gets bounces.
Yeah, I mean, just that's the name of the game. Literally,
Yeah,
is is who's getting the bounces is going to win.
I think
But
this is one of the hardest ones to pick. But who have you got?
I'm gonna Arizona in I think four.
4. See, I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
this is the hardest one to predict how many games it's going to be because I have a feeling like
yeah. I
this
mean, I think
is
you might be right. Like they might kind of be both. It's just like a couple of dry teams, but
yeah.
I'm just gonna count on Taylor Hall and Phil Kessel, and maybe this little break has been good mentally for Clayton Keller. Maybe he can figure some shit out.
Yeah, definitely.
You know? They just have more guys in their top six that I trust their talent and ability
Yeah.
uh, than Nashville does.
Yeah. No, I do agree.
But
Um, yeah, I think Arizona too. It's just this one is very hard to pick because both teams are, and it's not because they're evenly bad, but they're just so inconsistent. Both these teams. Nashville was starting to win games towards the end of the year. I think that's something that people do miss. But yeah, like I just don't trust this team at all.
so I pick a
Especially
game. How many games?
Arizona in 5. I think they
Oh, it's
finally get
a safe bet.
a good playoff moment.
What did you said? Obviously, you said that Chicago was going to win, right? Because your favorite player is Patrick Kane.
In two. In two.
Two.
Oh yeah, I can't. There's nothing better than watching him help mums on NHL store buy the popcorn
Buy
machine.
popcorn machines? Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that's the best. Oilers in. Oh boy, I say 4. I think Blackhawks will win a game. It's hard to give a complete like lockdown at the front there, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Are we going to worry about the stupid round robin? Because I have a feeling teams aren't going to give a shit.
Yeah, I don't even know because they're only playing 3 games, right? Like one against
one against
every
each
other
other. It
team.
means nothing.
Yeah, I
I
mean, it
think
does mean it. They
the
are like
seeds.
reseeding according to it.
Yeah, I
I just
still
don't. But like, if you don't know what that means until like, because those games will be over before
before.
the
Yeah,
play-in
exactly. Yeah,
series for the most
exactly.
part. So like, you don't know who you're going to be playing anyway. So like, what exactly does it matter? I
That's
don't.
the one thing that I wish that they gave them a choice was this round robin. That you got if you won, you got to choose who you played.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there should have been something on the line that
God,
wasn't just
yeah, the
I don't know.
reseeding. I mean, pretty much you're just trying to get games in right and get to. I mean, they had to do something because otherwise the team that played 5 games would destroy them. Um,
Probably. Yeah, they'd like it was like an automatic win for game one.
yeah, that's exactly it. Till they kind of woke up. So I think they had to do something. But yeah, it's pretty much like let's not get injured. Let's not those outdoor games that are very cold and you just hear stories that like one coach says to the other coach like no hitting.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I have a feeling it's going to be a little bit of that. See you in a couple of rounds.
right. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, suddenly, Claude Giroux and Jacob Voracek and
So
Ivan Provorov are suddenly unfit to play in this round robin game. It's weird.
yeah, that
It's
I think there'll be a
so,
bit of that. There'll be a bit
yeah,
of like, oh well, we'll figure it out. Whoever we verse.
yeah.
Go from there. Perfect. Well, that's the West all done up. Is there anything else you wanted to touch on or talk about, or any final thoughts?
No, I mean, I guess just on the round robin series, like why not place a bet because we're degenerate gamblers.
Okay. I don't even know we can. Hold
I
on.
think do they have any like, betting
I'm
lines on
taking a
that?
look at the markets. I've got the 4 plans.
I'm
Let's
I'm
see.
gonna say that the Avalanche win that. It's gonna go Avalanche, Vegas, uh,
Avalanche.
Stars at the bottom,
No, you
and the
can't even bet on it.
Blues third.
You can't even bet on it.
Because it means it's meaningless. It's absolutely meaningless.
Yeah, and obviously they're just like, no. No, you're not doing that. All right, I've just put the bet in for the amount of games that we sort of set as well. So, if it lands, it pays like something ridiculous. So just put $5 on that. It's like a few grand because it's like
Woo!
I picked it to be like in 4 games in that exactly. So yeah. I think it will be. I think it will be. I think it will be interesting. Yeah. Have you got anything else NHL related that you're like? Yeah, I really wanted to dig my heels in and talk to Brenton about this one.
No, no, no,
No,
no.
no.
I,
The
I
one
don't.
thing I
I
did
don't.
want to say is that did you see the scrimmage games for the Leafs? They like had officials and were playing like music and stuff like that in between and goal horns. They were trying to
Oh
make
yeah, I
it
guess they
real
got in trouble for that, right? They said they're not allowed to have officials anymore.
official. Well, yeah, and they also got in trouble that they were like holding training camp during the CBA talks.
And that sounds like the Leafs.
Yeah, so a little bit naughty autos. So yeah, and the Golden Knights captain's on its way. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, and that stupid arena in Edmonton flooded.
Oh yeah.
Forgot about that. But
Rogers Place went for a little swim.
yeah,
It's
but
fine.
no,
That's it was mostly just the concourse, but it
oh,
is kind of funny and ironic. Poor
it
Edmonton.
it just and it's also just like man, they don't want this season to happen, do they?
Yeah, seriously. Even Poseidon is real mad about it now.
So, so yeah, when Poseidon's weighing in on the Stanley Cup,
Right.
shit's wrong. Yeah, there wasn't much news this week. Oh, because I was going to do a weekend news video, but like there is literally nothing. Just
Yeah, I'm honestly actually kind of surprised by the lack of news. I would have thought for sure with them doing testing every day at this stage that way more players would be coming up positive by now.
well, they're just not mentioning it, and Yeah, I think they're trying to hide who's on the ice and who's not. Like,
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a delay, but they were giving the numbers
yeah,
so far, I think. I mean, they did initially, like,
maybe people are doing the right thing. Because I
hockey
mean, the
players.
Penguins. What did the Penguins do? Didn't they stop like 11 people training or 9 people training because like
Yeah,
they were
nine, including
super.
Patrick Hornquist. So,
Yeah, and because there were 2 people removed from it.
right.
Yeah, I didn't want to make videos on speculating until games sort of start, a bit closer. Like right now, who's on the ice and who's off the ice. Like that would be a 20-minute video right now. But yeah,
Yeah.
because I think Charlie Coyle's one of them at the moment. Like he got an inconclusive test and then since tested negative. So it's just like tons of that stuff. Which, by the way, the amount of inconclusive tests that show up, and I saw what happened in the AFL when that happens, like that can just suck.
Yeah, because then
Like
like
that
you're kind of just
bad
stuck
luck.
no matter what. Yeah, but I
Yeah.
mean, I will say that like every team seems to be operating out of an abundance of caution, and like I fully support and get the arguments that like they shouldn't even be trying to do this, but it seems like they've consulted a lot of doctors on the issue, and I'm not the epidemiologists seem to think that they can do this if they do it right. The only issue I kind of take is like they're taking a lot of chances in this phase where you're just kind of like letting players
Ooh, yeah.
practice together while they're also like living at home and stuff. But
Yeah.
once they get to the bubble, like it's fine,
But it's getting to that bubble. Like
You
that's
just
still going to be the thing. We're
yeah.
getting closer, but we are
And I
getting
have
closer.
no, and I have questions on how they're going to do this bubble too. Like this is something that like I've heard a few people on the radio and stuff mention it. There's no real clear answer. I'm sure the NHL has a plan in place, but
Mm.
MLB started playing preseason games already, and I drove by the arena last night because I was going to get the dog a new cage, and there were I can't even tell you. There are like a ton of boats in the river, which is that's always whatever. It's fine, but then just like a mass of people like surrounding the stadium.
Really?
I don't know if they were looking to catch foul balls or home runs and like they autograph seekers. I don't know, but it's like in
Oh
Canadian
no.
cities, you're gonna get that. Like that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And I hope that I hope they have a plan for that. Like they need to treat this kind of like a state of emergency, like internment, like just
Yeah.
this kind of I don't know
The
sectioned off quarter of
fans
like a
right now are
survivors camp or something.
yeah, the fans are Walking Dead zombies. Like
Yeah,
that's the way you gotta look at it.
they need to make this into a safety zone.
Yeah, just keep them away. I've been watching F1s the last few years, and like they obviously they've started 3 weeks ago, but they don't have fans at the arena. But like because the tracks are so big and the one in Austria is so open, there's all these like people like on the mountains just not social distancing at all watching it. So if there's a way,
Yep. Yeah, if there's a way, people are gonna try and do it, like just to be there and show. It's just
be
like
there.
fucking
Yeah.
sports fans, man.
Yeah, I just hope. I also hope they don't do something like in Toronto, like if they get complacent, they're like, yeah, we'll have an event that like a watch party or one of those things. Like that would be the fucking worst idea.
It'll
Would be
happen.
worst.
Like we can
I don't.
count on that happening. As long as look, man, it's that shit's gonna happen. As long as
Mm,
they keep the players from doing kind of dumb shit, I think it'll be all right. Like
I-
there's gonna be a few players that probably somehow still manage to get it inside the bubble. Like
oh,
that's
of
just I think
course.
it's unavoidable at this point with how
Yeah,
contagious this thing is.
but
But
I think they're putting a lot in place that you're not going to get like a whole team doesn't shut down because one person got
yeah,
it.
yeah, like I said, I think they're doing a lot of things right and should be
Yeah,
commended for it. But
gotta be
I know we
learning.
have
Just
15 minutes left before we both kind of have a hard out. Do we have mailbag questions this week?
yes. Have you got any on your side?
I have not. I have not.
Oh.
Because as usual, I didn't ask for them on Twitter. Listen, I'm nothing if not reliable. All right.
That's true. That's true.
All right. Well, let's do the little sad trombone and hit it.
The sad trombone. Let's just do it. I'm just trying to find it because a lot of them were on YouTube. So, by the way, people that said nice words this week on YouTube, thank you very much. It really does help. And if you have not subscribed, I'm pretty much doing. You get to watch someone slowly lose their insanity via video. So that's something that's nice, right?
Yeah, but why are you saying nice things to Brenton on YouTube? Come on, you're better than that, people. You're better than
Some
that.
people were happy that you were you are now there in video format on the podcast.
Where are
And
they though?
also, there was I wish they screen grabbed it, but apparently you scoffed your face at the meat pie. Fine.
I forget that I'm on camera. It's yeah. Whoops.
Let's go. Ben asks, if you could have any jersey in history to add to your collection that isn't a Penguins jersey, what jersey would it be?
Ooh, man. You know I've given this question a lot of thought because there are some real good jerseys out there.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, it sadly enough, like it used to be an old Chicago Blackhawks, either Stan Mikita or Bobby Hall jersey, and
Really?
then then I got a little older and realized that Bobby Hall was a racist bag of shit, and the Chicago Blackhawks logo was fucking racist as shit.
You're really doubling down with a whole,
Yeah, like it was a whole
Blackhawks
yeah.
jersey.
Look, it's real bad. You know what I'd want actually is give me an old Montreal jersey. Like if we're gonna go back, give me a freaking Howie Morenz. I want one of the sweaters. I've always wanted like one of the like an actual sweater that they used to wear with like where the white wasn't. It was like kind of like an off white. Oh man, those things are pretty.
Oh, that's not yeah, it's not a bad one. I don't I yeah, I don't hate that. Um oh wow. Yeah, that's a very good answer. You know what? I just finished reading a book. So I've got like 6 deep dive videos that are half done because I find all these fucking inaccuracies. Like, there's all this shit that's like, this person said this at this newspaper, and they quote the newspaper. So then, thankfully, like that newspaper had scanned that newspaper in that day, and so then I go to that article, and I'm like, he doesn't say that at all in this newspaper, and there's just tons of that crap. So like, I've had to buy a few books to like deal with it. Like the names on the back of jerseys. That video will be out this week. That almost killed me. I almost died doing it because to try and figure out when the California Golden Seals, who by the way changed their fucking name every season, they're the Oakland Seals, they're the Bay
Yeah.
Seals. In the space of 7 years, that team was just the biggest basket case ever. Anyway, they were the first team to put the names on the back, and like a good thing is like a good example of what I said before was there's all these quotes about a player, I can't remember his name, that said like, oh, at least the newspapers can get that right, get our names right going forward. And like everywhere that's linked to does not exist. So like that's complete hearsay that someone's made up. Like the earliest I can see of this quote is like 30 years after the fact. So I'm like, clearly someone's made this up.
Yeah, it was just like a secondhand story somebody told in like a documentary in
Yeah,
the
and that's
'90s. And like they don't,
yeah,
no one
and
listen, Breton. No one in America remembers the '70s. Okay, that's bullshit.
yeah, that's very true. But so I read this book on them, and yeah, that's a fascinating team. So I wouldn't mind, and it's not a terrible jersey. Like one at the when
No,
they
they're actually pretty nice.
yeah. But I get how that team did not work. Like you just can't keep changing it to like Oakland to Bay. Like there's
Yeah,
just
well,
no
I mean that was like that was the
terrible.
guy that owned the baseball team. He owned the Athletics. Like that was
Yeah.
literally just one big marketing gimmick, and he just kind of wanted like a toy to play with. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, he was not great. The book, by the way, for those of you playing at home, is the California Golden Seals: A Tale of White Skates, Red Ink, and one of NHL's most outlandish teams. And I've just about finished it. But yeah, it made me want to get that because there's history there that they were the first team to have names at the back of jerseys, and B, like just the stories are terrible. Like their white skates apparently weren't proper ice hockey skates to get them white. So apparently they just retain water, so they weren't as fast as anyone else for the second and third periods of any game because they were just playing in wet skates.
And they were spray painting them white, so
White,
like they
yeah.
would get heavy
Yeah.
after a while. So it's
Like
like
it was so good. Like there's just that. Like just every story is just about like what is the worst thing you could do at any given time? Here you go.
just a comedy of errors
Yeah.
constantly.
Oh, they actually have a bit of a history at like claim to fame is that I hear a dog in the background. Mr. Mittens.
Yeah, she's ready for a WALK.
Ooh. By the way, Mike has a new dog and has not named the dog yet. So
I have not, so submit name suggestions. I put a picture of her on my Twitter.
Bobby
Uh,
Holt.
yeah, no, it's great. I want my dog to be racist. I love it.
I've never met a racist dog. I've met a sexist dog before, but not a racist dog. Yeah, so that's that's probably the jersey I'd go to would be the golden. I know that was a long-winded answer from me, but like they're not terrible jerseys.
They're good. I like them actually. It's
Yeah.
a good answer.
The other jersey I want to get again, the jersey names is the Leafs. To keep their record sales up. I don't know if you call them records. The the books that just have every player name and all that stuff in it. Before games that you can buy. Can you still buy them when you rock up to games?
Programs. You mean a
Yeah,
program?
programs. Yeah, we call them.
Yeah, we still get them handed out.
Yeah, so
Here anyway.
to stop sales of them falling, when the league made it mandated that you had to have the player names, the Leafs like made it the same color as their jersey, so you still had to buy the programs. I wouldn't mind picking up one of those jerseys just because they look terrible.
That's pretty good. It's
Yeah.
pretty good.
And there is one more. This comes from Willie. And he said, I think that this year the Penguins have been snubbed for a few player awards. Can you remember a time where a Pittsburgh Penguin was completely snubbed by an award?
Yeah, Phil Kessel, the Conn Smythe Award in 2016.
Yeah.
That's
a
yeah,
good answer.
That's the immediate one that comes to mind.
Yeah. Yeah, we did not give that to Sid.
Sid should have won MVP, like at least, 2000. I mean, it would be hard to give it to him in 2011 since he only played until January.
What a January.
Well, I mean, fucking.
Because that was the year he was on that like massive point streak, right?
He was on pace to get over, like, it was like 140 some points or something.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, Sid should have won. He probably should have won MVP in like 2012 or 13 too.
I think you're bang on with Phil Kessel. I think that's such a good. Yeah, I didn't even think of that. Yeah, that's my answer. There's no point. No point continuing. You snuffed that out of the park, my friend. Have you got any final thoughts? Anything? Because I have to start work shortly. We're permanently closing our office, so I'm just working from home forever now.
That's sweet, man. I think everyone's going to do that.
Yeah, so do I. All these companies all of a sudden was like, why are we paying rent?
Yep. That's what my boss said. He was like, why? This has been going great. Why have we been paying rent all this time?
Yeah.
Like,
why?
I don't know, man.
Yeah. I'm not missing
I like The Office.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not paying for it, so...
You're one of those, eh?
Yeah, I suck at working from home usually, and I need the socialization. There's a lot of cool people in working in my office.
Yeah, I think thankfully I've started playing more sports and stuff like that because you do definitely need the social thing. But yeah, I don't miss like, oh, Brenton, quick thought. It's like I'm in the middle of shit. Leave me alone. I don't miss people coming up to me in the
Shit at your desk, Brenton? Please tell me more about this.
office. No. Happened once. HR wrote me a letter, said never do this again. This is not a joke. Yeah. But yeah, any final thoughts?
That was my final thought.
That was it.
Fear
Yes.
knocked at the door. Faith answered. There was no one there. That's there's my final. Chris Maltasanti wisdom for the day.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you made it this far, thank you so much. You can
Why?
review us. That helps us with the algorithms. Everything's about the algorithms nowadays, isn't it?
Yeah, but only if it's 5 stars. If it's not five, even if it's like 4.5,
Yeah.
come to your house
Don't
and
give
shoot
us
your dog.
shoot. If you don't have a dog, I'm gonna get you a dog and wait till you fall in love with
Yeah.
it, and then I'm gonna shoot it. Jesus, that's evil.
Got
Unless
real
you're
dark.
allergic to dogs, in which case you can keep the dog because you're allergic
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah, I'm gonna find out what you're allergic to and just fill your house with it. We're gonna spend a lot of time and a lot of money on this revenge plot for not reviewing us the right way. It'll be worth it.
The product better. It's just like filling one person's house with bees.
We just assume everyone's allergic to bees.
Yeah. Well, I think to a point everyone kind of is. There's a point where you
Yeah.
just get stung too many times, right?
It's true.
Anyway, that is the whole video. So thank you so much for watching. You can catch me at GoBrent yourself. You can catch him at Yinza_Chic. Did I get that right?
Wow, yay.
Yeah, that was nice. That was
That's
nice.
it. That's it.
That was nice.
Yeah, because I'm gonna come fill your house up with bees if you're not.
You can go follow us on YouTube, which really does help because I'm doing like daily videos, if not more than one a day, at It's Hockey Night. Otherwise, there's you can write into us at iahnpodcast@gmail.com or at hockey. Is it Hockey Night Pod?
Yes.
At Hockey Night Pod. Is that everything?
That's it. I think that's all the stuff that we have to pimp out.
I'll shout out one thing. Your Instagram, which is at Yinza_Chic, is pretty funny.
Oh, it's just gonna be all dogs now. So like, yeah,
Oh.
follow me on Instagram if you want all the good dog content.
Oh, okay, well I'm gonna unfollow because I feel like this is all the makings of a furry.
Let down.
Yeah.
That's
Like
fair.
I already saw 4 photos and I was like, oh no.
I'm over it.
Oh no.
Yep. I'm gonna be one of those dudes, but with
It doesn't even
instead
have
of
a
my
name
kids,
yet.
look at my
Not even
dog.
named, but there are 9,000 photos of this dog already.
Absolutely.
Anyway, enjoy the WALK. Yeah, well, thanks so much for listening. Have a great day. See you and bye.